Hello everybody, welcome to Blue Goose Garage. I decided I'd actually do something on a video for once instead of just talking about it. About a week ago, I got on eBay after much research, decided that I wanted a shifter handle. I'm still hunting a Hurst shifter, but I wanted a correct shifter handle. And if I ever do get a Hurst, I'll get the adapter and I'll run a stock shifter handle. But I got on eBay and I bought this one. It even has what's left of a factory console boot. That was originally a bench seat handle with a bucket seat console knob. Pretty sure this is the knob off this car. The console's not off this car, but the knob is. This is a original knob. It's metal, heavy. So, and I know some of this isn't put together the way it's supposed to be, but, you know, kind of is what it is. I've got what I've got. That, particular boot is only a year or two old, but it's already rotting. As you can see. That's an original, as far as I know. Console is. But I didn't have boots, so I bought these, and they're not good. That's going to rip all the pieces, taking that off of that. Whatever kind of rubber they make these out of isn't very good. Alright, so Alright, so I wasn't going to take the console up, but I think I probably should. And this is the kind of stuff that happens when you actually drive the car. You end up with a lot of change and razor blades. This console's been in, I guess, multiple cars, and they've moved it around and stuff on the floorboard. I put it back on the original holes, but they're wallered and stuff, so I have washers around the head of the screw. I really don't want to take this all the way up, and I don't want to have to get out of it and unhook the battery. So I'm going to hope that moving this doesn't short a wire and blow a fuse. And for the one person that might say something about this being a black console in a blue car, it's an original console. I never said it was the original console out of this car. That ended up being given away a long time ago. And I got this one off eBay. Nobody else bid on it really, because it's missing a few pieces here and there. But, you know, it's the original console. I didn't want to paint it because it's an original console. At least it was black. It could have easily been red or something else that would really stick out. And black kind of makes sense because the car has that black fade down the side. So you can kind of see this is going to be a pain to do with one hand. So I'm going to put the phone down, and after I get the shifter unhooked, I'll show you some more. Alright, I took my old shifter off, handle off, and that boot. Now that was bought as a bucket seat console boot. It never did fit the holes. The factory holes did not line up with that boot. That boot may not be the right boot, but the holes line up, what's left of them. However, the ring that I've got, the boot retaining ring, doesn't line up with the holes, except that one. So really it don't even line up with a factory hole. It lines up with a hole that I put there. So right now only that screw is actually tight. The console kind of comes down on this side, and these two screws are just going into the carpet. But it's better than nothing. That boot's got a hole in it anyway. But factory boot. You can see my wiring. I had some factory wiring. I just retaped. That's the dome light, and it works. I ran two extension cords from where the factory wiring was cut up underneath the dash, from there to there. Tied it into this one and ran an extension cord to this one. The black wire's running the clock, the white wire's running the light, and that wire is the ground that makes the clock and the light work. So it ain't running, you know, so it's kind of it works. You can't see that anyway. Oh, and that's what that was brand new. Kind of sad how something that's 60 years old pretty much is in better shape than a 2-year-old one. So I'm going to put that back, put the bezel and stuff back around it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, that looks better to me. That's first gear, second gear, third, fourth, reverse. So and as far as if the shifter's a little bit further forward than it should be, I made those linkage rods and I made it in mind to kind of move everything forward a little bit, because that was my shifter. So it was back too far in second gear. It was almost like this. That's, you know, not close, but that's kind of more like the reproductions here back. It was too long, and it was too far back. And when you were shifting it into second or fourth, you ended up having to pull back on it. And you actually had to pull back on the knob. So now, in second, you're here. That's a little better. So, let's drive it down the road. Oh, and the reverse detent spring or reverse lockout spring is in a lot better shape. The other one was, until I heated it. I didn't take it apart to heat it, so it kind of, you know, softened it. I'm gonna have to get used to that shifter. It's in a completely different spot than the other one was. So you can drive a car all the time, you get used to how everything, ouch, was. That's bottomed out my tailpipe on the ground. But you get used to how everything is, and then you change something, and you have to relearn everything. Actually be a little closer to the dash now. That's the issue of being too tall. I'm really too tall for this car. Let's move the seat forward a little. Now we're sitting in there. Oh, and the horn button I have keeps falling off. Part of that's probably because that's a reproduction horn ring, retainer ring or whatever. Button. I got room for my leg now. Now that could be a 66, but the website I found that I liked said 66 or 7, and that is an original. So, kind of is what it is. Yeah, if I was to try to, you know, shift to this one with anger, I'd probably miss a gear right now because I'm not used to that. So it's gonna take me a while to get used to that. I may end up adjusting my rods a tiny bit back. I have a shifter that came with a shifter, but it's a stock shifter. That shifter, I cut down the reverse lockout gate some so it would let it be further forward. The other ones about locked down. It's rusty. So I'm going to soak it in oil and see how that works, and then I probably will put it on. But that's honestly, to me, that's right. You can see where my boot ripped more. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.